They're among us, lurking in the shadows, living in plain sight. They come in all forms, all genders, not to assume anyone's gender, and they come in all those other things. They are hell-bent on power. They are not who you think they are. No, not them. Not them either. There we go. The Qs. They are a horde of followers to the anonymous Q. They are a self-proclaimed pack of lone wolves. Not sheep, mind you. This no more evident than in their rally cry. Where we go one, we go all... Wait, that can't be right. That's exactly what sheep do. Well, I'll be damned. I guess it is. Anyway, they consume anonymous information with bloodlust. There is no conspiracy theory they're not willing to devour.
JFK was definitely murdered by CIA. You're taking it from someone who's got JFK on their arm. 9/11 was an inside job. People in our government who are working towards a deep state. Not outlandish at all. Reptilian aliens, the Epstein connection. MKUltra is a huge one.
No blanks they're not willing to fill. The word synchronicity is not in their vocabulary. There's no amount of fact-checking, debunking, or actual evidence against these theories that will defeat them. QAnon has been a phantom for years. No one knows the identity of Q, hence the anonymous. It's definitely not this guy. No way this guy was involved. And maybe not at all this guy. What once started in the seedy alleys of the internet has now crept its way into mainstream media. Kind of. But before that, the baby Q lurked on 4chan, a fringe internet page where anonymous people chat about stuff and things. This page gave its users anonymity. It concealed their identity. Without oversight or confirmation, stories began to evolve. People claimed to be high echelon agents, top secret military, and porn stars. Unfortunately, those who believed them must have been new to the internet. For decades, parents have taught their children to be skeptical of who's on chat rooms, warning them of the dangers of people easily lying, catfishing, and luring gullible minds under the guise of trustworthy and familiar commonality. We've been bombarded by fake people on the web since the first email by an East African prince willing to pay you absurd amounts of money for a quick loan. But those who would go on to become Q followers haven't learned. It was in this naive environment that a nugget of despicable truth, something so horrendous that people were willing to tear away what little skepticism they had left, in effort to eradicate evil. Child trafficking is abhorrent in itself, but twisted minds used this to embellish these evils. This spawned Pizzagate. Though this sounds like a sequel to Spaceballs, it was a conspiracy that the Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C. was an underground lair for satanic rituals. Because of course, we're still in the 1980s satanic scare. Have we not learned? Apparently not. This caused a North Carolina man to grab his AR rifle and be a hero, When he arrived, he immediately fired shots to gain access to the basement. He found nothing. There was nothing. Even though his airtight, anonymous internet source was adamant there was. But the bait had been taken, mostly by ravaged right-wingers aiming their hate towards the left. Q spread like a nasty venereal disease, making its way to 8chan and then Twitter. It had begun. Wait, Washington, D.C. is a gun-free zone, right? How did he get an AR in there? The advent of the internet has led to the addiction of knowledge. Like the invention of nuclear power, the intentions can be used for good or evil. Seriously, there has been a rise in flat earthers. The cult of Q harbor many nightmares buried online, most of which are regurgitated or pop culture inspired. They range from normal crazy to batshit crazy. They have accepted previous normal conspiracies that have been either disproven or reside in a state of stagnation, such as the JFK assassination or the 9/11 truther movement. And then, when plausible conspiracies are confirmed by credible sources like alien spacecraft, it emboldens all their other unconnected treacheries. Wait. Aliens haven't been verified? They just confirmed that they can't confirm flying objects. This has led to some of the more bizarre suspicions, like reptilian shapeshifters. For decades, fictional stories of lizard people have been present, and in the era of television and movies, visuals of these fears could be realized. There is no way these sources of entertainment could have shapeshifted from fiction to believable fear. But above all these, one conspiracy reigns supreme and is the core tenet of all Q beliefs. The world is being run by a not-so-secret but secret cabal of satanic, child-torturing, deep-state pedophiles bathing in the blood of the innocent to regain their youth and live forever, led by George Soros and other Jews. Ooh, I've heard this before. Oh, right. It's just a morbid retelling of the protocols of the Elders of Zion, a classic anti-Semitic work from 100 years ago that basically said there was a Jewish plan for global domination. Russian in origins, it was later exposed as fraudulent and merely propaganda ripped off from other non-anti-Semitic sources. The Protocols was written with moral superiority and truisms. It made general prophecies with no great detail of how the world would be dominated through control of the media and financial institutions, and how traditional social order would be altered. That's exactly the same thing as today, but with more frills. How can a group so relentless on piecing together patterns not see the plagiarism and noticeable similarities? Whatever. The protocols were popular in Germany, and we know where this is obviously going. Wait, there are Holocaust deniers? Jesus Christ. Ignoring the blatant retelling of the protocols the Qs found their savior. To combat and eradicate this evil cabal in what would be known as the Storm. Someone so pure, anti-pedophilia.
Does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
Seriously, this guy?
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
This is scary. Shortly after Donald Trump announced his run for presidency, Q drops began to appear online. These mysterious and cryptic messages were completely vague and could be interpreted in many different ways, making them easily dismissible if they didn't come to fruition. These Q drops painted Donald Trump as an elite agent recruited by top military leaders to win the presidency and destroy that not so secret but secret cabal. But not these honorable lifelong service members who have a career of credibility, but other unverified secret military leaders. While in office, his sole intent was to drain the swamp of these corrupt officials, and he did with these guys. Once elected, he started doing the people's work to disband this worldwide evil regime. Even on our shores, Q intelligence guaranteed arrests of top cabal leaders. But when it didn't happen, when they said it was going to happen, it was because of some random reason. But don't worry, it's still going to happen tomorrow or next week, probably, maybe. Are we sure this isn't just a glorified fantasy world of interactive fan fiction? No? Alright. For 4 years, President Trump fought vigorously, but not in the sense you may think. He did it by not doing stupid things that possibly skirted presidential privilege. Those 4 years, nothing of Q relevance occurred. The coming storm was cloudy, but the Qs were not deterred. With a presidential election on the horizon and the guarantee by Q that President Trump would be re-elected, he would have another 4 years to avoid impeachment. Eradicate the cabal. But when the election came, he lost to Joe Biden. Q was wrong. Oh wait, there was election fraud.
The election is rigged. It's rigged like you've never seen before.
Wrong one, that was from 2016. Wait, he won that one. Either way, the Qs were still not discouraged. There was a plan. The recounts in Arizona and Georgia would confirm he won. Nope, they couldn't just find votes. No either, okay. Not to worry, the real plan was that states just wouldn't certify the results. They did. Alright, watermark ballot. Faithless electors. Rudy to the rescue. Supreme Court. Really? Fine. The actual ironclad, absolute, ultimate plan was for Vice President Mike Pence to announce Trump as the actual winner during the reading of the election results. But again, that didn't occur. In fact, Pence suddenly and inexplicably became part of the cabal. Because, of course. And the hordes descended upon the Capitol to avenge their supreme leader. Luckily for the Qs, they are resilient. Rising from the depth, new plans emerged, and a secret shadow government was still being run by Trump. Like a teenage boy's first encounter with Playboy, the Qs were giddy. January 20th, Inauguration Day, would bring all the high-level Kabbalists together. A perfect storm for Q's long-running, but not at all accurate plan. Trump would roll in with the military and arrest them all in front of the world and reclaim his rightful place. Let me guess.
Wrong.
That really seemed like the perfect chance to be right. After failure upon failure of false information and consistently being wrong, the Qs came to realize their deceit and...
I told the whole country a month and a half ago that Donald Trump will be back in August. You know?
You still believe that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like watching that Bigfoot show. They don't find Bigfoot at the end, but if you tune in next week, maybe it's gonna happen. Thank you.
How is this even possible? Ugh. Wait, go back. But when the election came, he lost to Joe Biden. Biden won? Ugh. We're still screwed. Human brains are hardwired to seek patterns and to find order in chaos. Conspiracy theories assert we are in danger from hidden forces. This helps give difficult questions and random events satisfying answers, and puts us at the center of these events. We are all victims of this. This has helped us survive when we hear bumps in the night, and the confirmation of a small percentage of feasible conspiracies that do occur continue to feed our imaginations. The Qs have taken this further, not all by malice, but a desire to protect themselves and loved ones by denying reality. They have a dire need to separate the world into good guys and bad guys, to clearly define virtue and evil in the world, to place themselves as heroes and the Paul Reveres of their time, and in order to help forge a better future, ignoring the truth that our lives are often full of failure. We don't want to believe these failures are due to honest mistakes by others or random chance. We don't want to believe that they're our own fault. To believe otherwise is to believe that we are flawed, or that we have no control over what happens to us. But there is hope for the Qs. With time, patience, and the reiteration of truth. Oh, who am I kidding? I probably just became part of the cabal or something.